Winter smiles. A solitary essence, not forged for this world. Who only knew love through death. Thank you. Oh, bless you all.
Thanks for taking the call. I really appreciate it.
Oh, great. Good to chat to you.
Yeah, no, good to chat to you. I mean, well, I say good. It's also after watching the film last night. It's quite daunting to chat to you after that character, because that's quite a character you created there. So, congratulations on that.
Oh, thank you. So you just watched it last night?
I watched it last night with my son. Yeah, I said, let's sit down and watch a fun film. And it was fun, but it was very, very dark. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So,
kind of fun though, isn't it? It's
it is.
dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun watch, I think. Yeah, funny and fun in parts.
I was going to say it's kind of like, to describe it, it's kind of like it's a blend of Gothic horror, would you say, with a police crime thriller, and then this kind of comedy added in. Which of those three elements did you find the hardest to kind of blend into that film as an actor in the film?
I didn't really think about it when we were making it, because I mean that's Sybil is just so complex as well, and actually all of the sort of police thriller stuff I didn't really get involved
Yeah,
with.
sure.
So it was kind of I mean, that was sort of when I had some downtime. So yeah, and I deliberately didn't go to set for any of those moments, and just to let, give everyone the respect and space they needed. So yeah, because Sybil's quite an enigma, and yeah, so but it was really a really fun experience, albeit dark, and the horror aspect, it's sort of, I mean, yeah, it was quite nuanced and multi-genre, I'd say, very layered, and I suppose it is more of a horror than anything else, but yeah, it's quite romantic as well at times, and
Yeah. But I'm quite curious. I mean, it must have been quite tough. I mean, you must have really gone down a really deep, dark rabbit hole to kind of get into character, because it's a really nuanced character, but it's a really dark character. It really takes you to some really dark. It certainly took us to some dark places last night when we were watching it. So how did you approach that? Not with the script as an actor, but as kind of researching, because there's a lot of dark places you have had to research there to get into character now.
yeah, there was, I was cast very late, about 7 to 10 days before we started shooting. So I had the prep week, to really just dive in and create what I needed to create, and do the work, and figure out what I wanted to do with her. And there was lightness as well as the darkness, and those moments definitely help, and certainly the fantasy moments were enjoyable to shoot. But yeah, it was dark and it was taxing, and I just had to, I mean, I was away from home, which helps, I think, when you're working with something like this. It's very hard to go home to your family at the end of a shoot day and be normal, because you do live the experience, that your characters go through, and the trauma that they feel. You experience that trauma, and I play a lot of those roles. And I'm as I'm getting older, I'm becoming more aware of what that does to me and my body. But yeah, thankfully my life is nothing like Sybil's life. So Broken Bird was sort of, I could decompartmentalize at the end of a day somewhat. And yeah, and I got home just before Christmas, so I was able to sort of, shut the door, and it was winter and
Decompress on, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you said that, like, it's obviously you're tackling very dark, sinister material, but at the same time, I guess because there's comedy in there, there's quite a lot of comedy. I was a lot more than I expected, actually, because that comedy is in there, and it sounds bad to say, but it's good to be able to laugh in the face of death,
Yes.
now laugh at death in a way. So that must have been cathartic for you as well, working on this project now.
Yeah, I love that. There were moments when you'd step onto set, and it was, everyone was very respectful, whatever the tone was for the scene, and the great crew, just a lovely crew that were just so good to work with, and you could hear a pin drop at times, and I loved that atmosphere, and it really helped to heighten those moments. But yeah, there were sort of fun bits as well, and I think that's, you're always working with that. There's always challenges when you're working with dark material.
Hmm. Tell me, we can't not speak about Joanne Mitchell and Dominic Brunt, who are kind of like the masterminds behind the whole thing. Obviously, this is Joanne's directorial debut as a feature film. What was it like working with her, and how on hands was she? I mean, obviously, it was her husband that wrote most of the script. So how on hand were the two of them at creating Sybil with you? Kind of the
Yes,
backstory and the character herself.
yeah. You know, Dominic wrote a brilliant script, and it was based on an original story by Tracy Shields, but he wrote the script for the feature that just, I think that's where the comedy comes from. He's hilarious. I mean, he's just
You have
such
a
a
fantastic scene with him, by the way. But
fantastic.
that was so funny as well.
I
Yeah.
love that scene. I know. I sort of want more and more of him in this. And he's just funny boned, and so it was in this. It was there for me. It was all there in the script. But yeah, he was just great, and he wasn't there on set the whole time. So Joe is just astonishing to work with as a director. And I know when you're in interviews, everyone likes to say everyone's wonderful, and I had a great, but I mean, she's just astonishing. The way she directs, the detail, the enthusiasm, the positivity on set, that everyone, you walk in and you just feel it from her, and the whole crew felt it. Everyone loved working with her. And I was so thankful that it was her on this project, because I couldn't have delivered the performance that I was able to deliver without her. And if I had any insecurities or questions or doubts, she was there, and we were often huddled in a corner. That's where you'd find me with Joe. She has this sort of open door policy with everyone, yet still has such a tight hold of the reins. And that's such a wonderful balance in a director to, I just trusted her implicitly yeah, I adore her. I would love to work with her again. And I think
Hmm.
she's got a really bright future.
No, definitely. I've interviewed her a couple of times. She's a lovely, lovely person. Yeah.
Really
Uh,
lovely person. And you
yeah.
want to work with good people.
Well, yeah. So just before I let you go, the one last thing I want to talk about is, I mean, obviously it's all about the darkness and the death in this person's life, but also a lot of the comedy comes from her love for poetry.
Mm.
That's quite a unique world. I mean, I've seen the odd video and I've been seeing the odd kind of in pubs and places where people do these kind of poetry get-togethers. Was that something you were familiar with, or was that something that you learned kind of from scratch? Was it difficult to kind of get into that
No,
lifestyle?
they were the easier scenes to shoot, really.
Yeah.
They were, yeah. I mean, I think I was naturally probably a little daunted as an actor, delivering poetry to a room full of people, and that helped for Sybil. So because she feels that, and she sort of wants to be celebrated, and yet doesn't love herself enough to celebrate herself, so she's sort of searching for something at all times that she doesn't have. And the poetry, I think she thinks she's brilliant, and it's not very good, but
Hmm.
she thinks it really is. And I love the moment in the poetry reading where her father, I don't know if you clocked that. I just love that
Yeah,
moment,
yeah. It
because
was
it
actually my son that he said, "Hey, hang on, that's yes." He clocked it. I didn't clock it at first, but yeah, my son he showed me. I said,
yeah,
"Hey, it's at the back of the poetry reading."
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this idea of, dead people, and in her world they're so prevalent, and that they're always there, and he's not there, but she feels him and sees him, and not to give any spoilers away, but at the end of the film, that sort of repetition of that, I loved that, her father was always with her.
Hmm. Yeah, no, it's quite. It's quite. I wasn't sure how it was going to end, and without giving anything away. Obviously, it's a very satisfying end, and it went completely
Good.
away that I wasn't expecting, but it was
Oh,
really
God.
satisfying at the same time. So that was fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, I loved filming the ending. We filmed mm, several versions of that, and I loved creatively. I just loved that. Yeah, I miss Sybil. I miss playing her. So
Hmm.
yeah, glutton for
Well,
punishment, maybe.
no, no, no. I understand, and I'm sure that when the film goes to FrightFest, I mean, it's opening FrightFest, so congratulations on that. People are going to
Thank
love
you.
it. I'm sure they're going to love Sybil. And then the week later, it's in UK cinema, so I can't wait for people to see it. Thank you so much for your time, Rebecca. It's been great to speak to you, and I
Thank
wish you
you.
the best of luck and hope to speak to you again sometime soon.
Yeah, thanks, Howard. Great to
All right,
chat.
thank you very much. Take care of yourself.
Take care.
Bye now.